There being 32 ayes and 31 nays, the bill is passed and its title agreed to.
The Minnesota legislature addresses energy issues virtually every session. Some of the legislation reflects the recommendations of a commission established to dive deeper into energy issues, the Legislative Energy Commission. The LEC, according to its website, evaluates the energy policies of the state, assessing the impact on the future of the environment and the economy.
The purpose of the commission as it was formulated in 2008 was to bring together legislators that are coming from lots of different policy areas that all impact and are impacted by energy issues, but don't necessarily have a chance to consider those issues holistically and to take more time to go deeper into more complicated issues than they can during this session.
Energy is a very complex issue, requires a lot of engineering and prerequisite knowledge. The LEC gives a subset of legislators the opportunity to study the engineering, to study these issues, to put forward good recommendations to enact better public policy for the state of Minnesota.
The 20-member commission is bipartisan and created to represent a variety of needs unique to all areas of Minnesota.
We hope it leads to new policies for the state, but it's also some of the other things you mentioned. It's also educating, it's also listening and learning. It's trying to bring people together and take a look at how we want to deal with our energy policy. So it's more of a step back from the policy setting than the committees are, but that's actually a much broader, bigger opportunity to bring the state forward instead of on this bill we're going to do this. Instead, it's for us to take a look at a big picture.
We work on all energy issues. A lot of that tends to be focused on electricity or utilities, which some of our membership is very expert in because they're coming from the energy committees in the House and Senate, but some of them are coming from transportation or natural resources, and so they bring that lens to it. And it's also, by its nature, very bipartisan. We always have a bipartisan commission. This year it's split 50-50. So I think that's really helpful in that we have to be working on issues that are important to folks from both parties and from all over Minnesota.
Such as, give me an example of some of the issues that are kind of hot button topics right now.
Well, if I could just go back a little bit to last year, one of the issues that really had the most concern from folks from all different parts of the state and all different politics was rural heating issues. 2 winters ago, we had a bit of a propane crisis where the supply was short and the price of propane shot through the roof. So folks were having a hard time buying heating fuel for their houses. And it made it a priority for legislators from all over the state and especially the rural areas to look at what can we do to help people get access to other options or to be able to afford the heat that they need. So that's the kind of issue that the LEC would work on, where it's more of a difficult policy issue that needs to be unpacked over a bit more time than they had time to do during the session. So they assigned it to us to do over the interim last year, and we came back with a package of proposals and some considerations for them to think through if they wanted to act in go down this route here, or some of the things that you might consider doing, or the questions that you want to ask. And a few of those made it into law this past year.
Most of the work and subsequent recommendations are generated during the interim, and the commission co-chairs say taking more time to explore the issues is why this commission is so important. Tell Minnesota voters, taxpayers, why a commission like this is so important. Is it important?
Well, it's important because energy issues really interconnect all aspects of our economy, whether it's agriculture, healthcare, the financial services industry. A safe, affordable, reliable energy system is the blood of the heart that pumps the economy of the state of Minnesota. So we want to make sure that as we're going forward, we have broad-based bipartisan consensus on that energy policy. We don't want to make the mistakes that California and other states have made by having radical course corrections in their legislative agendas. This is a way to help make sure that happens, that we keep Minnesota in the middle of the road in a forward-looking positive vision.
The setup of our committees are, we sit behind the table, one or more of our members offers a proposal, we take testimony on whether people like the idea or not, and then we vote on it. If you are somebody who works in energy technology, got some great, incredible new invention, and there's so many Minnesota businesses, everyone from 3M to lots of small startups, have great ideas for technology or other things that would really work. Well, they can't come in here and say, well, we know Senator so-and-so's got this bill, but we should talk about this instead. That's they don't have that ability to do that. When they're at the table and they're saying, this is something you should take a look at, they contact our commission and they say, we want to show you this. We're excited about this. We think this could expand. We think this could be a big new business opportunity for Minnesota and great for our economy. And they have a chance to have a say in that they don't have at the legislative process. So I think the legislative process is essential. We have to have that. But this other thing is an add-on that the public really does benefit from.